Tanni, do you know if anybody in any other countries where, in their jurisdictions, assisted dying is allowed, have there been cases where there is, I mean, it's very difficult for someone who's chosen it to regret it because they're no longer with us, but have there been cases where members of that person's family have said, this has been wrong, this has been completely misapplied, we wish this legislation didn't exist?
Yes. And it's different in different jurisdictions, but in the UK there are many cases of situations that have been called mercy killings, where it's usually the male partner is held up as being the saviour of ending usually female partner's life, you know, because they were in terrible pain, and then you find out it was actually murder, and people have served jail time for it. So, you know, in Oregon, over 70% of the records are incomplete. They destroy them a year after the person has ended their life. And so, you know, that leads me to say, well, why are you destroying, you know, the records? And there are examples of coercion. And I find it really, you know, interesting you're talking about the infantile language, because at some point, it's very difficult to talk about it on air, and I won't talk about the details, but we do need to talk about the drugs, about how they end someone's life, about what happens.
Let's talk about that. I was supposed to go to break, but I think this is important. This debate is happening right now. This is a moment in history, so we need to talk about these things. My understanding is that at times when people have these drugs, they can suffer tremendously, and it isn't necessarily a quick end.
Yeah, in Oregon, over half the cases take and this more than 53 minutes, and the longest case in Oregon is 136 hours. That is 20 shift changes of a doctor. And in Canada, actually, they step in and euthanise the patient much quicker. But these are the things we need to ask. And, you know, this bill allows a proxy signature. So that means somebody else can sign that form, but the bill then says the person has to take the drugs themselves. Well, if they can't sign a form and I can't even do a scribble, how do they take the drugs? And the only data we've got, or you know, is some of the death row cases where, you know, the patient hasn't died peacefully. And there's probably not too much sympathy, I have to say, for some of the death row prisoners, how they die. But these are the things that we need to be talking about. I mean, it's not one pill. It's not. It could be 100 pills. Yeah. And that's what people need to think of as well. And so, you know, it is the detail of, because I think people have been sold this Hollywood death. It'll be with your family. It'll be a time of your choosing. It's going to be in a room somewhere in some kind of organisation. And what if you change your mind? You know, there is no appeal in this bill through the High Court system.